So what we have here is the following. We have a sum of each of the following terms, all right? So T1 is 6, T2 is 10, T3 is 14, T4 is 18, and I don't know what 50 is. Okay, I could count up, but we're not going to do that. Now, using the Toby methods, we're going to look at that it's going up in fours, aren't we? So we can say that Tn is, what can we say? 4n. Now, 4 is smaller than 6, so what can we say? 4n plus 2. Okay, we've established that. Now I'm going to establish how far it needs to go to get to 50. So I'll put it equal to 50, and what do I get next? Tn equals 50 take away 2, 48, and 48 divided by 4, 12. So it goes all the way up to T12. Now, I could add this on for a long time. I'm not willing to do that. If you had 40 terms, you're not going to add 40 numbers together. So there's a formula for this, and I'm going to need you to take this formula down. The formula in question is Sn is n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. This formula is available in your maths tables under sequences and series. Now, I'll give you a classic example. Okay, what we're going to do first is I'm going to get it in terms of n. So, my a value is my first term. What's my first term? 6. A value is 6. What's the d value? My gap is 4. Is that okay? So, n over 2 into 2 times a. What's 2 times a? 12. And then 4 times that? 4n minus 4. And then when I add it together, it's going to be 4n plus 8. Now, let me explain what Sn does. S1 is exactly the same as T1. S2 is the same as T1 plus T2. So what we'll do is we'll test T2. What do we think T2 should add up to? T2 should add up to 16. So I'm just going to replace in 2 here. What do we get? 2 over 2, 4 times 2, 8 plus 8. Does it turn into 16? Yeah, we know this formula works because we tested it. Out of interest, what would S4 be the same as? T1 plus T2 plus T4. However, this question is asking for S12 because we know that T12 is 50. So therefore, we're going to do S12. So it's going to be 12 over 2, and it's going to be 4 times 12, which is 48. And if somebody could quickly do that in the calculator, it's going to be 6 times 56. What? 336. Alright guys, so that's T1, that's T2, that's T3, and we don't know what T this one is, or T something. Now, we all decide it drops by 6 every time, doesn't it? So that would mean it's a formula with a minus 6n on it. Now, what's minus 6n compared to 80? How much am I too small by? I'm too small by 86. So there's my formula there. Minus 6n plus 86. Now, this one is minus 34. So bring over the 34 and what do we get? Or so bring over the 86 and what do we get? Minus 120. And then divide it in. We got n equals 20. So that means is we're counting all the way up to T20. So then you got to use your Sn formula. I just do it with n first, okay? So we're going to get n over 2. And what's my a value? A is your first term, so 160. My d value is minus 6. Multiply it in, you get minus 6n plus 6. And you get an answer of, so what did I do there? Oh, it's a plus 6, isn't it? Yeah. And then what do I get? Who got 166 take away 6n? And we get that? Now I'm going to test this. What's a good way of testing it? What happens when I add the first two together? What's my answer? So I'll just put in n equals 2. Do I get 154? 2 over 2 is 1. 166 take 12. Yeah, I know I'm right. So you don't have to do that check. I like to check my formula before I proceed. And I'm going to replace it with 20, am I? So who got the answer for this then? How much? 460. We cool. You could also sub in the n at the very beginning, couldn't you? You could sub everything in. You could sub in n equals 20 at the very beginning if you want, and that'll get it done in one go. You are going to need to know how to formulate the formula eventually, so I'm just showing you this way. Now, okay guys, let me show you how to do this. Okay, this first, see question 2 here. Ever see question 2? Okay, here's the deal for this. This epsilon sign means add them all together. Now, see the way it starts off at r equals 0? That means your t1 is actually when your r value is 0. So what happens when you replace r with 0? Minus 1. So t1 is minus 1. What's t2? 4 times 2 take away 1? What do you think? 4 times 1 take away 1? 3. Your t3? 7. And then your t4? Huh? T4 is when it's equal to, no, when r is 3. So 11. It's going up in 4s, isn't it? Your t5 is 15. And your t6, oddly enough, you might think you're only going to t5, but because you start at 0, you're going up to t6. If I was to change that to r equals 1, what would happen? That'd be cut off, wouldn't it? And you'd start off with 3. T1 would be 3 then, wouldn't it? So you have to be careful about those. R equals 0 ones. Now, what could I do with them? I could just add them all up, couldn't I? And I could get an answer for the E means add them all together. So to add them all up together, what do you get when you add them all up together? Anybody tell me? What do you reckon? Nobody in the humor now? 45, 52, 55, take 1, 54. Now, yes? Yeah? Yes?
Sorry, what was the little number of the
It means how high, what R value do you end at? So I ended at R equals 5. 4 times 5, 20. 20 take away 1, 19. That's why I ended there. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Now, what happens for argument's sake if that was 95? Do you think I'm going to write all them out? Am I going to write all them out? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop after maybe 4 terms. Ever see the 4 terms? I'm then going to do my SN formula. Okay? And now R equals 95. Because it begins at 0, how many terms will I have? I'll actually have 96, so I should use an n value of 96. Does that make sense? So it's going to be 96 over 2. 2 times minus 1, which is minus 2. 96 take 1 is 95 times your d value, which is 4. All into the calculator. Let me know what that adds up to. So it's really easy at low numbers, but at large numbers you'd have to work it out. What you get? Anybody? 18,144. Okay, 1 second. I did 6 and 2. Now guys,